In the dead of night, a mother's desperate scream shattered the silence outside a Los Angeles hospital. Moments earlier, paramedics had rushed in, carrying a toddler barely clinging to consciousness. This child, Christian Rock's 2-year-old son, who has been tangled in headlines, controversy, and public disputes, now lies fighting for his life. The most bewildering part of this tragic moment? The true circumstances behind what happened remain a complete mystery. Could this have been an unexpected medical crisis, or is there something far more sinister at play? Hospital staff exchanged hushed conversations behind closed doors, while security on the pediatric floor was suddenly ramped up. Insiders reveal that even doctors murmured concerns, saying, "This does not seem right." Adding to the unease, Blueface was mysteriously absent. No sign of him at the hospital, no response to calls, and no public acknowledgement of the emergency, igniting a storm of speculation and outrage across social media. What triggered this sudden collapse? Could it have been avoided? Did someone overlook the warning signs? As fans pour out their prayers, frustration, and questions across social media, fragments of the truth are beginning to emerge. And what we have uncovered will leave you stunned. Stay tuned, because in the next few minutes, you will discover how a seemingly quiet night descended into a nightmare, and how one family's darkest secret might finally come to light. From the very start, this was never a typical celebrity story. When Chrissy Rock first announced her pregnancy, it did not come with joy, flowers, or celebration. Instead, it sparked chaos. This baby was not welcomed into a peaceful home, but born amid relentless battles, drama-filled Instagram lives, and public shouting matches witnessed by millions. The father, Blueface, the rapper notorious for controversy, cheating scandals, online feuds, explosive outbursts, and public shame, transformed what should have been a complicated relationship into a full-blown spectacle once a child entered the picture. Through it all, Christian struggled to keep it together, but the weight of it all was overwhelming. Chrissy shared videos of herself breaking down in tears while cradling the baby. On countless sleepless nights, she went live at 3 a.m., confessing feelings of isolation, exhaustion, and despair. Rumors about postpartum depression swirled as fans watched her unravel, not in a scripted reality show, but unfolding live for the world to see online. And the relentless scrutiny only made things worse. People ridiculed her, judged her harshly, turned her pain into memes, and labeled her unfit, dramatic, even unstable. Yet one thing remained undeniable. Her love for her son was fierce and unwavering. Christian was always seen with that baby close, cradled in her arms, resting against her chest amid every chaotic moment captured on camera. So when news broke that her son had been rushed to the hospital, not for a routine checkup but in critical condition, the world shifted. Reports say it happened just after midnight. Neighbors claimed to hear screams coming from Christian's home. Unlike the usual arguments, these were raw, desperate, and terrifying. A 911 call was made. Paramedics arrived in under 7 minutes. Upon entering, they found the toddler unresponsive, showing what one EMT described as clear signs of distress. He was immediately placed on oxygen and rushed to the nearest pediatric trauma center. And through it all, Christian, the woman the media often branded unstable, was the only one by his side, crying, pacing, praying. Meanwhile, Blueface, the self-proclaimed provider, was nowhere to be found. Silent when it mattered most, his absence only deepened suspicion as the timeline unfolded. Earlier that same day, Christian had shared an Instagram story of the baby laughing, dancing, eating snacks, no signs of trouble, no hints that anything was wrong. Fans commented on how healthy and happy he seemed. So what changed between that cheerful video and the emergency call? Some insiders speculate something happened inside the home, a truth yet to surface. Others believe a medical condition had quietly worsened until it reached a critical breaking point. But the most haunting theory is this: it was no accident. Someone close knew the baby was unwell, ignored the warning signs, or worse, tried to hide them. One source close to Christian's inner circle revealed she had been crying out for help for weeks, but no one listened. And now, this revelation has ignited a wildfire of fear and outrage online. Has this little boy been quietly suffering all along, while the world got distracted by drama and feuds, drowning out desperate cries for help? Why are hospital staff so tight-lipped about the situation? Rumors swirl that Child Protective Services has already been notified. Some witnesses say authorities were even seen inside the hospital, reviewing security footage. One blogger revealed that a private investigator, hired weeks ago by an anonymous source, has suddenly resumed activity. The pieces just do not fit together. As the public watches anxiously behind their screens, refreshing news feeds and praying for the child's recovery, it is becoming painfully obvious. This is not just another celebrity scandal. This is a potential tragedy, and the truth is growing darker with each passing minute. At around 2:17 a.m., things took an even more alarming turn. An insider, claiming to be part of the hospital's administrative staff, leaked a chilling voice memo to a popular gossip blog with over 2 million followers. In the brief clip, a trembling voice whispers, "They are not announcing it yet, but the baby coded once in the ER. They had to resuscitate him." The term coded sent shockwaves through social media. It means the baby stopped breathing, and possibly his heart stopped as well. Fans already gripped with fear spiraled into full panic. Then a blurry, grainy photo emerged, a raw glimpse of grief. Kryan sat slumped in a hospital hallway chair, tears streaming down her face, her hoodie pulled low, rocking back and forth with her phone discarded on the floor beside her. No filters, no glamour, just raw, heartbreaking pain. The caption accompanying the image read, "This is what a mother looks like when the whole world is watching." And still, there was no word from Blueface. Was she silently begging for help, only to be ignored? Then, Blueface's mother, Carl Issa, stepped into the spotlight. Known for speaking her mind, she went live from her car, lips pressed tight and eyes sharp. "I'm going to say this once," she began. "My grandson is strong. He's going to make it. But where were the people pretending to care before? Where were you then?" Though she did not name names, the pointed shade was unmistakable. It was a clear jab at Christian. Just like that, the internet split down the middle. Half the fans rallied behind Christian, insisting she had been fighting this battle alone, pleading for help while everyone turned away. The other half attacked her parenting, blaming her for what happened under her watch. "Where was she when the baby got hurt?" they demanded. Now both parents faced intense criticism, but the child remained in critical care. Then came the most gut-wrenching update. A pediatric specialist, brought in urgently for consultation, reportedly gave a grim statement to hospital staff, overheard by an intern and leaked to the public. "He may survive, but the damage might be permanent." Those words shattered the Tor's online world. Fans cried openly during live streams. Fan pages held prayer circles, and hashtags like Chucks Pray for Baby Jr. and Justice for Jor quickly began trending. Meanwhile, Child Protective Services officially got involved. They visited the hospital, interviewed Christian, and attempted to reach Blueface, who, according to one report, refused to appear in person. As the wheels of the system quietly turned behind closed doors, Christian finally found her voice. At exactly 7:03 p.m., she went live. Eyes swollen from tears, hair tangled, voice trembling with raw emotion. "I just want him to be okay," she pleaded. "I don't care what y'all say about me. Drag me, clown me, hate me. I don't care. Just please, let my baby live." In that moment, the world seemed to pause, shifting from judgment to shared grief. But Christian was unaware that the story was about to take a shocking turn, one that would unravel everything. Behind the silent hospital walls, the internet erupted in chaos. While she poured out her heart on camera, shaking, praying, begging for her son's life, something unexpected was unfolding across town. A whistleblower emerged, claiming insider access to the hospital's internal files, not just medical records, but security footage. They dropped a bombshell. In an anonymous voice message that quickly went viral on a hip-hop news channel with over 3 million subscribers, the voice confessed, "I shouldn't be saying this, but there's footage from the night the baby was rushed in." What they revealed next sent shockwaves through fans everywhere. What they found on the child's clothing and skin isn't what the public's been told. The message continued. There were traces of something unnatural, something chemical. Tests are underway. That's why the floor was locked down and why CPS is still on site. Speculation exploded. Was the child exposed to a dangerous substance? Was it an accident or something far more sinister, deliberate neglect? Fans scrambled to connect the dots, revisiting Christian's live streams where the baby crawled near open containers, zooming in on kitchen counters, bathroom sinks, even background clutter. Then a tweet storm blew the case wide open. A well-known pop culture blogger shared screenshots from a direct message with someone claiming to be a former nanny for Christian. The story hinted at more than just neglect, perhaps burnout, a mother overwhelmed and struggling to keep afloat while raising. Ugh. Those words pierced through the noise, haunting viewers. People who once mocked her now said, "This isn't funny anymore." The heartbreaking truth hit home. She was crying for help long before the crisis, and we watched her unravel in real time without offering support. While the world reeled from the emotional storm surrounding the child's condition, inside the hospital, a new test was underway. A neurological scan to evaluate the extent of possible brain injury. Then, another insider leak surfaced, a private text between two doctors reading, "We're seeing some irregular brain activity. We won't know the long-term effects for days, but it's not looking good." The chilling possibility that this little boy, barely 2 years old, could suffer permanent brain damage sent shockwaves rippling through every fan community. The pressing question shifted from what happened to what happens next. And no one had any answers. Within hours of the leaked medical updates, public reactions spiraled into a frenzy of clashing emotions: grief, anger, sympathy, disbelief. Social media was no longer merely responding, it was erupting. On Twitter, now X, trending hashtags flooded timelines as fan accounts shared tribute videos of the boy's bright smiles from earlier clips, innocent moments untouched by crisis. Soft piano melodies accompanied captions like, "Stay strong, baby. You did not deserve this." Instagram comment sections turned into battlegrounds of emotion. Every post on Christian's profile, whether recent or months old, was overwhelmed with messages. "You're not alone. Keep fighting. We saw the signs. Motherhood has no manual, but your love shines through." Meanwhile, Blueface's own page hinted at a growing internal investigation into the incident's circumstances. A carefully crafted hospital statement finally emerged. The child remained in stable yet serious condition, with signs indicating possible exposure to a harmful substance. The statement stopped short of calling it abuse or accident, emphasizing that the cause remained under investigation. Fans clung tightly to the word pending, a fragile beacon of hope, suggesting it was not too late, that the nightmare might still have a hopeful ending. But as more tests ran behind closed doors, the world braced for a final, decisive update. Then, a source close to the situation dropped a chilling warning. "This is not over, not by a long shot. The next 24 hours could change everything." Just after sunrise, an unexpected twist crashed in, not from a hospital, blog, or celebrity, but from the courtroom. A sealed document had leaked to the press, a family court summons dated within the last 48 hours. The petitioner? T-Rock. The respondent? Jonathan Porter, aka Blueface. Boldly stamped across the top, emergency petition for sole custody. Fans gasped, stunned after weeks of silence, deflections, and damage control. The battle had just entered a new, urgent chapter, one that could redefine everything. Christian has officially filed to gain full legal custody of her son. The reasons she listed were chilling: ongoing threats to the child's safety due to environmental neglect, lack of support from the father, and exposure to dangerous conditions. This confirmed a full investigation was underway. A judge had already reviewed the child's medical records, and a hearing was scheduled just 5 days later. Suddenly, this story shifted from a family drama into a serious legal battle, one that could determine the course of this child's life forever. But the twists did not end there. Hours after the court filing leaked, a mysterious surveillance video surfaced. The grainy footage, time-stamped 2 nights before the emergency call, allegedly came from a neighbor's doorbell camera. It showed Christian rushing outside, holding her baby, visibly panicked and shaking while yelling into her phone. What shocked viewers was a faint male voice in the background, not Blueface's, but someone else, possibly a friend or relative. The voice said, "Just chill. You don't have to take him in. It's probably just gas." That one dismissive sentence broke the internet again. How many times had she been told to ignore her instincts? How many times were her fears minimized? This baby might have died because no one took her seriously when it mattered most. Fans now demanded answers. Who was that voice? Why did it take a near tragedy for anyone to act? And would Blueface finally step up in court, or walk away like nothing happened? Public opinion began to swing heavily in Christian's favor. For the first time, people stopped seeing her as a reality TV star or a fighter, and started seeing her as a mother in survival mode, surrounded by chaos, fiercely trying to protect what little she had left. Meanwhile, the hospital released another update. The child had stabilized further and was now breathing without assistance. But the harsh truth remained. The physical damage had already been done. Doctors were still unsure what long-term effects the baby might face. Neurologists warned months of follow-up were needed. Developmental specialists were involved as well, for emotional and cognitive recovery. The scars ran deep, physically, emotionally, and legally. The next chapter was already unfolding. Christian's team teased a next live update, hinting at a sit-down interview, a docuseries, and more footage coming soon. Until then, the world waited. For Blueface's response, the court's decision, the child's full recovery, and the final truth behind the terrifying night that changed everything. One thing is clear, this story is far from over. And the silence that follows might speak louder than the screams that started it. Now it's your turn to weigh in. This is a heavy conversation with no easy answers. There are so many layers here. Accountability, support, blame, and most importantly, the child's well-being. Some believe Christian was failed by those around her, friends, family, maybe even professionals who should have stepped in earlier. If she was crying out for help and no one listened, that's a serious breakdown in the support system that a parent needs. Others feel Christian herself ignored too many warning signs. As an adult and a mother, personal responsibility matters. A lot. You are right. It is not solely Blueface's job to police her choices. If she was drinking, clubbing, or making choices that put her child at risk, those actions have consequences. But then, where does Blueface fit in? Was he truly absent or neglectful? Or is there more beneath the surface we have not seen? It's easy for the public to rush to judgment without all the facts. But if he had opportunities to help and didn't, that must be questioned too. At the heart of it all, the hardest question remains. When a child ends up fighting for their life, who is truly to blame? Is it just one person or a system that failed? A combination of choices, circumstances, and neglect? The emotions here are raw. The story feels personal for many, and for good reason. Parenting is complicated, and trauma like this shakes everyone involved. What do you think? Should Christian be granted full custody? Is CPS's involvement necessary and permanent? Or is this just one chapter in a longer, ongoing struggle? I'm curious to hear your take, no filter. Who do you think carries the most responsibility? And what lessons should be learned from this tragedy? You laid it out clearly and with strong conviction. The core of your argument is about personal responsibility. Christian, as an adult, made choices that put her child at risk, and she must be held accountable for those decisions. Drinking and going out while pregnant, especially under such circumstances, is not something Blueface controlled or caused. He cannot police her actions, nor should he have to. The point about autonomy and rights is important. No one can force an adult to change their behavior, no matter the consequences. So ultimately, it's on the individual to own their actions and face the fallout. You also acknowledge the toll this is taking on Blueface, recognizing that this tragedy affects everyone involved deeply. But still, when it comes down to it, the one who was physically making those risky choices was Christian, and that responsibility cannot be shifted. This perspective definitely challenges the idea that blame is shared equally. It puts the focus on accountability, especially when a child's health and future are at stake. Do you think there's any way this story could shift public opinion back toward a more balanced view? Or will the narrative keep focusing on Christians' decisions and accountability? You are absolutely clear and firm about where the responsibility lies. Christian made the choices that led to this situation, and as an adult, she must be held accountable. No excuses. Your analogy with someone causing harm directly helps. Drive that point home. The person who acts is the one responsible. It's understandable that you feel strongly about this, especially when it involves a child's well-being. It's important for people to own their decisions and the consequences that come with them. I'm curious, how do you think the conversation around accountability could help support better outcomes for children in similar situations? And do you think public opinion tends to lean more toward empathy or blame in these kinds of cases?